You have been told that neutering is the only responsible option, the only path, the standard, the right thing to do. But what if that was never the complete truth? You have been told neutering is the only path, but have you ever heard of a dog vasectomy? It is a procedure that makes your dog sterile while keeping his essential hormones completely intact, the hormones most critical to his long life, his emotional health, and his physical strength. Nobody told you this was an option, and that silence has cost thousands of dogs something they should never have lost. Stay with, because what you are about to learn changes everything. Every year, millions of dog owners choose neutering because they believe it is the only responsible way to prevent unwanted litters. They are never presented with an alternative. They are never told what neutering actually removes beyond reproductive capability. And they are almost never told that a procedure exists which achieves the same reproductive goal without the hormonal, emotional, and neurological consequences that follow traditional neutering. This is not just about one operation. This is about your dog's entire life quality, every single year he has left. That procedure is a vasectomy, and your dog deserves for you to know about it. Before we get into the details, I need to ask you something honestly. When your vet recommended neutering, did they explain what testosterone actually does for your dog's long-term health? Or did the conversation begin and end with population control? For most owners, it ended there, because the full hormonal picture is a conversation that rarely happens in a standard veterinary appointment. Drop a yes in the comments if your vet fully explained the hormonal consequences, or no if the conversation was mostly about preventing puppies. Keep watching, because every point in this video fills the gap that conversation left behind. 1. What a dog vasectomy actually is. A vasectomy in dogs is a minor surgical procedure that severs a small section of the vas deferens, the tube that carries sperm during ejaculation. The result is permanent sterility. A vasectomized dog cannot father puppies. His sperm production continues, but sperm are absorbed by the body, making reproduction biologically impossible. Here is the critical difference from traditional neutering. The testes remain completely intact. The testes are not just reproductive organs. They are the primary production site of testosterone, the hormone that regulates muscle development, bone density, cardiovascular health, neurological function, immune response, and emotional stability in male dogs. Traditional neutering removes the testes entirely. Testosterone production stops permanently and immediately. The dog's entire hormonal architecture collapses overnight. A vasectomy removes none of this. The testes remain. Testosterone continues flowing at natural levels throughout his life. The hormonal system that governs nearly every aspect of his physical and emotional health continues functioning exactly as nature intended. Same reproductive outcome, completely different hormonal reality. If you want more videos like this, subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell so you never miss an update. The procedure is clear, but point 2 reveals exactly why keeping testosterone intact matters so profoundly. And we are moving fast because every single benefit here is something neutering permanently destroys. 2. What testosterone actually does. Fast facts that will shock you. Most owners have never been told what testosterone actually does beyond reproduction. Here it is, fast, clear, and impossible to ignore. Bone and joint protection. Testosterone signals growth plates to close at the correct developmental time. Dogs neutered early miss this signal entirely, developing abnormal bone structure that dramatically increases lifetime risk of cruciate ligament tears, hip dysplasia, and joint disease. Picture a dog who can barely climb stairs at age 6 because of a preventable skeletal development problem. That is what early testosterone removal does. Muscle mass and physical strength. Testosterone actively maintains muscle throughout a dog's life. Neutered dogs lose muscle mass progressively, becoming physically weaker earlier than intact males of identical breeds and ages. Cardiovascular health. Testosterone supports healthy heart muscle function. Long-term studies show neutered males develop cardiac issues at measurably higher rates than intact males. Immune function. Testosterone keeps inflammation regulated and immune cells working efficiently. Neutered dogs show higher rates of autoimmune condition and specific cancers, including osteosarcoma and hemangiosarcoma, compared to intact male. Brain and emotional stability. Testosterone shapes the brain directly. It regulates confidence, reduces fear responses, supports memory, and maintains the neurological architecture behind your dog's personality. Remove it, and the emotional consequences are permanent. A vasectomy preserves every single one of these. Because the testes remain, and the testes keep working, the benefits of keeping testosterone are enormous. Point 3 shows you what the research actually says, and we are keeping this tight because the findings speak loudly enough on their own. 3. What the research shows. The facts. Every owner deserves the science is not ambiguous. Here's what peer-reviewed research actually found. University of California, Davis, studying over 2,500 dogs across multiple breeds, found that dogs neutered before 12 months showed dramatically higher rates of joint disorders and certain cancers compared to intact dogs. Frontiers in Veterinary Science, 2020, examining thousands of cases, found neutered males showed significantly higher rates of aggression, fearfulness, and noise phobia. The widely held belief that neutering produces calmer dogs dogs? The data directly contradicts it. Canine cognitive dysfunction research. Neutered dogs develop the dog equivalent of dementia at measurably earlier ages than intact dogs. Testosterone protects the aging brain, and when it is gone, that protection disappears with it. The research does not say vasectomy is perfect for every situation, but it makes one thing undeniable. The hormonal consequences of traditional neutering are real, significant, and almost never part of the conversation when owners are making this permanent decision. A vasectomized dog keeps his testosterone. He keeps the joint protection, the cardiovascular support, the immune regulation, and the neurological integrity. The research supports this, clearly and consistently. The research is on the table. Now, point 4, and this one requires complete honesty, because vasectomy is not for everyone, and you need to know exactly why. 4. The honest truth. Bold warning. Every owner must hear. This is the most important point in this entire video, and it requires complete, unfiltered honesty. Critical warning. If your goal is to stop your dog's aggression, eliminate marking inside your home, or prevent dangerous roaming, a vasectomy is not for you. Full stop. Sexual and territorial behaviors in male dogs are driven entirely by testosterone, not by the presence of sperm. A vasectomized dog retains full testosterone levels. He will retain the same intense interest in females in heat, the same marking behavior, the same roaming instinct, the same testosterone-driven reaction. Vasectomy achieves one thing and one thing only: permanent sterility without hormonal removal. If behavior modification is your primary goal, traditional neutering remains the appropriate intervention for that specific outcome. This honesty is not a weakness of vasectomy. It is the clarity that makes informed decision-making possible. Now, for owners in South Asia, Pakistan, and India specifically, finding a veterinarian trained in dog vasectomy in this region is genuinely difficult. The procedure is not yet widely available, but here's your practical next step. Ask your veterinarian specifically about hormone-sparing sterilization. This phrase opens the conversation. Some veterinarians are trained in the procedure, but do not offer it unless directly asked. Others may refer you to a specialist. That question, those 3 words, is your starting point. Do not assume unavailability before asking. Ask first. The warning is clear, and the path forward is specific. Point 5 addresses exactly who vasectomy is genuinely right for, so you can place your dog in the correct category with confidence. 5. Is vasectomy the right choice for your dog? Vasectomy is not universally correct for every dog and every owner. Here's the honest breakdown. Vasectomy is most beneficial for large and giant breed dogs, German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, Labrador Retrievers, Rottweilers, breeds already predisposed to hip dysplasia, cruciate disease, and osteosarcoma. The skeletal and joint protection testosterone provides during development is most critical and most impactful in these breeds specifically. Dogs with existing anxiety or fearfulness. Removing testosterone from an already anxious dog consistently worsens behavioral issues. Vasectomy prevents this outcome entirely by keeping the hormonal confidence buffer intact. Owners who understand and can responsibly manage intact male behaviors, marking interest in females, territorial instincts, and whose primary concern is preventing unwanted litters without dismantling hormonal health. Vasectomy may not be the right choice if behavioral modification is the primary goal. Testosterone-driven aggression, dangerous roaming, or unmanageable marking inside the home are legitimately and effectively addressed by traditional neutering in ways vasectomy cannot replicate. The living situation makes intact male behavior genuinely unsafe or unmanageable for the owner or the dog. The decision is yours, but it must be made with the complete picture in view. Not just the reproductive outcome, the whole dog, the whole life. The decision framework is clear. Point 6 brings everything together, because beyond the procedure itself, vasectomy represents something that matters for every dog owner. 6. What this choice really means for your dog. Beyond procedures and research and hormone levels, vasectomy represents something that every dog owner deserves. It represents the right to a fully informed decision. For decades, neutering has been presented as a single, non-negotiable standard recommendation. The conversation has been one-directional. Population control requires neutering. Neutering is responsible ownership. The subject is closed. But responsible ownership is not defined by following the default recommendation without question. It is defined by understanding what is being permanently removed, not just reproductively, but hormonally, neurologically, emotionally, by asking whether the intervention chosen actually serves the individual dog standing in front of you. Your dog is not a population statistic. He is a specific animal with a specific hormonal system, a specific developmental timeline, and a specific emotional architecture. Every one of those specifics deserves consideration before a permanent surgical decision is made on his behalf. Vasectomy will not suit every dog, but every dog owner deserves to know it exists, to understand what it preserves, to make a choice based on complete information, not the comfortable assumption that complete information was already provided. The most responsible thing you can do as a dog owner is not to follow recommendations blindly. It is to understand exactly what you are agreeing to, and to choose with your dog's whole health, whole life, and whole future future in full and complete view. That is what this video gave you. Use it. One thing before you go. When you made or considered the neutering decision, were you given the full hormonal picture or just the standard recommendation? Tell me in the comments. Full picture or just standard? I read every single one because your answer might be the reason another dog owner asks the question that changes everything for their dog. Final advice. You were told neutering was the only responsible path. Now you know it was never the only option. Vasectomy preserves what neutering removes. Same reproductive outcome. Completely different lifelong reality for your dog. Talk to your vet. Use the words hormone-sparing sterilization. Ask the question. Demand the complete picture. Because your dog cannot ask for himself. But you can. And now you know exactly what to ask. Share this with every dog owner you know. Because every dog deserves an owner who knows all the options before making a permanent decision.